I'm Andy Burk from the Reno Fly Shop, and today we're going to tie a little variation on a very old, very good wet fly called the red tag, which I believe is Australian in origins. I got onto it from some European friends who I kept seeing this fly in their box and seeing variations of it, and it just catches fish after fish. It's a simple little soft tackle fly. I think you'll like tying it. We're going to tie this one on a scud hook, a little curve shank TMC 2457 in a size 8. We've got a great big 3.8 millimeter black tungsten bead on there. This is a fly that we want to get to the bottom. Where fish is a part of a check nymph rig or bottom roller type rig, this is a great fly to try. We're going to give it a little more lead. Again, I want this thing to sink like a stone. I've caught steelhead on this fly. I've caught big cutthroats at pyramid. They're a very effective fly. The other thing about the red tag is that you can tie all kinds of variations with it. Simple fly, peacock body, red tag, soft tackle. I've seen them tied dry fly style. The one thing I do know is that all the versions of it I've tried have worked. So this is one of the versions that I use a lot at Pyramid Lake and a lot for springtime fishing on the Truckee. Got that tungsten bead on there. Put about 10 wraps of 25 thousandths lead wire behind that. A little olive 6/0 Flymaster thread. Just going to wrap down a little ways. Just a ways down the hook bend there, I'm going to take a little tuft of soft red marabou. Just a short little tail is all we want. Just a little red tag on the back. Just like so. Little eye catcher. For ribbing, we're going to use a piece of copper wire. Go ahead and tie that in. Wrap back over it. Glue up that underbody with a little Dave's Flex Cement for extra durability. And the original red tags are tied with real peacock curl, twisted around the thread and all that good stuff. I use synthetic peacock dubbings for my red tags just because it's quicker and easier, and the end result's a little more durable, and it sure seems to catch just as many fish as the peacock versions do. This is a dubbing blend that I've jazzed up with a little bit of ice dub. It's just Arizona synthetic peacock with ice dub. Check out my other YouTube video on blending dubbing to see exactly how you do that. We're going to spin on our body. What a nice shaggy plump body. I think a lot of times fish may take this fly for a sunken beetle. I think that was one of the things it was originally intended to imitate. I'm just going to twist that dubbing a bit for a little extra durability and fuzziness. Makes a nice plump body. A little gap there to wrap our hackle. And grab our copper wire and just rip through with some nice evenly spaced turns. Tie that wire off. Rather than trimming the wire off with your scissors and wrecking your scissors, just take and do what my friend Richard Dickerson calls helicoptering the wire off. Just spin it around, and what will happen is you'll create a little fatigue point and it breaks right at the tie down, so you have a nice neat tie down too. Grab a little soft tackle. Any kind of speckled soft tackle works. I use light ones, dark ones. Usually whatever's at the top of the bench is my favorite. Strip all the fluff and junk from the bottom of the feather, and then spread the fibers down from the tip, like so. We're going to tie the feather in by the tip, and then use the butt of the saddle of the stem as our handle as we wrap it. We've got that little tip there. I'm just going to trim that square and tie it in. A couple tight turns of thread, all you need. Now, with your scissors closed, and very important that you have the scissors closed, I'm going to pull the feather over, and I'm just going to run the scissor right along the stem of that feather, and it's going to fold the feather over. A little moisture will help that effect too. There we go. Zip it back there. Now you see how it's folding. We're just going to make a couple turns. You don't want to make this you don't want to get too many turns of hackle on this. You want a nice sparsely hackled fly. Sparsely hackled fly looks more lively in the water than a heavily hackled fly. And you'll notice these fibers are kind of running every which way. I really don't care. We're gonna fix that in just a sec here. Got about 1.5 turns of hackle. We're gonna trim off our excess. Now we've got all this stuff flying around everywhere. Just take your fingers, brush it all back, put a couple turns of thread. We need to make a little collar there anyway, so we can take and get those fibers brushed back and circling the hook like so. We're going to go back to our peacock dubbing, and we're just going to dub a little collar right behind the bead. It's going to cover the tie down area for the hackle. Finish off the fly with a whip finish. So. Then I'm going to grab my trusty bug brush and just scruff it out a bit. Make that fly nice and shaggy. All those fibers will catch air bubbles, and got some nice mobile hackles there that'll breathe and wiggle. Very effective fly. Moving waters are still. One you should have in your box, the red tag. This is a tungsten bead red tag. Find more at renoflyshop.com. Thanks.